Hello, everyone. Welcome to Digital Downs. I got nothing really planned today, so I figured I'd just hop on the mic, do a little bit of a live show. Um, I don't know, just talk horse racing, just talk Digital Downs, maybe show a couple new things, maybe a couple tips for some new players. And this is a live show, so if anybody wants to join me on the podcast, just say so. I'll send you a link. You can pop on in. Otherwise, chat away. Don't chat. Do whatever you want to do. But I got a couple hours to kill here. Actually, I don't have a couple hours to kill. I'm actually taking a break from a bunch of programming stuff. And, I figured I had some time. I haven't done a podcast in a while. I figured I'd just jump on and just, and just hang out. So anyway, hope everybody's doing well. And, looking forward to having family over for the holidays. So and hopefully all of you have a great holiday as well. And anyway, let's what can we get into first? Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just mention that this is live. Since it's not really planned, I don't really expect anybody to take part. But anyhow, look, we're winding down towards the end of the season. We got a lot going on. We got about 10 days left. All the lead up races for the stakes and all that kind of stuff have already been done. We do have a couple events coming up. Let me check here and see when the first one is. Actually, I will. I don't like that one. I'm going to do that. Let's see. Let's go check out the series racing. For the guys that are new that aren't aware, we basically run like two different types of series setups. We have regular racing all the time, but we have two series pages basically that we use. One are like older series or just regular playful series or things like the Old Town. You see people talking about Old Town, Futurity Cup, just kind of like this fun series that we'll build for the season. They can all be found if you go to your main header. You can find them under Racing Office, and then you scroll down to Series Racing right here, and that'll bring you up to just like just basic series. So if you have the Old Town meet, which is for 5-year-olds and up, that finals race is on Christmas Day, and that amount there is so that'll be over almost $400 for that purse here for that race. And then you can see the top 10 stables that made that final. That's already posted. So this race is already posted, and these horses here in the finals on Christmas Day. And then there's a consolation race. So on this series section, we just call these race series. These race series usually have a consolation race for the people that didn't reach the top 10. And the purses for the consolation race are generally bonus credits, whereas the finals race for the series is typically game credits. So anyway, so that Old Town meet runs on the 25th. So all the lead up races have been finished. They're all the people that didn't make it. Let's scroll down here and see what else we got. Next race, Santa Anita Derby. Actually, I didn't even know we were still running this. Scheduled lead-up races. Oh, wow. So this series is still running. This one here is the Santa Anita Derby series, and I believe that's the under 99 rated. So that's for like any horses that are rated 99 and under are eligible to run in this series. And again, you can see the stables here. Crispin has the top 4 horses. I bet you they're better than just regular under 99. But anyway, this has a lead up. You see, when you have the header here, you can see if it's still running. Um, this purse so far, it's all these are all build a purse. So basically, when you enter the lead up races, a small percentage of all those lead up race fees get pulled into a purse, and they build the purse for you. So this purse right here is about $400, and there's still 2 lead up races to go. You can see that down here. Series lead up races are December 23rd, December 27th, and then after the 27th, it'll post the final 10 just like the one above it did. So after the 27th here, which is the last race for the Santa Anita Derby Series, okay, that will then post a final field, and they'll run for over $400, and that's on December 31st. So that'll run on the same day as the World Stakes, the last day of the season. So that's fun as well. Let's see what we got. We got the Futurity Cup, which is always a fun one. I was hoping maybe this purse would be around $600-700. Right now, there's 4 more lead up races for this here. This event is a Futurity Cup. This is for 2-year-olds. It starts halfway through the season, so that purse will probably end up over $500 for this final race. Again, there's lead ups on the 22nd and the 26th, and then that'll post here. And Crispin is doing really well in this series as well. So it seems like Crispin is kind of doing real well with the regular series, taking advantage of those opportunities. So congrats to him. But then again, anybody can win the finals race. And then we have another Santa Anita Derby Series for 3-year-olds. So this is the under for races for horses rated 99 and below. So it's good for you to know for next season. We'll probably also carry the same series, the Santa Anita Series. We might move it back to Parks and call it the Philadelphia Series like we did before. Who knows? But again, these are for horses that are rated 99 or less. So it kind of gives these horses a place to run. Now, that doesn't mean these horses can't run in the regular program or stakes or graded, whatever it is. But there seems to be this perception out there that horses rated 99 can't run, which is false, by the way. But since people tend to think that, perception becomes reality. So in that case, I built racing for that level. But and people take advantage of it. So your 99 rated horses can definitely win other races, but they do fit the criteria for this race series, and people take advantage of it, or should try to take advantage of it. So there's a couple more lead up races, the 23rd and the 27th, and then they'll post on the 31st. So again, that's just like the regular series. So sometimes you'll hear people talk about regular series or Santa Anita Series or Futurity Cup. All that can be found in the racing office if you go to series racing. Okay. Now, the other type of series racing, hold on one sec. I'm gonna post actually that we're live here. Bear with me. I'm sorry, but this is like a freelance podcast, so I'm not really stressing about anything. I'm going to post in the forum a link to the podcast. All right, that's posted. Might as well share it on Twitter too while I'm at it, while I'm in here. All right. So anyway, back to business here. The other series that we run, it's not really a series. I mean, it's just they're basically events, right? So the most popular one is, who's the casino guy here? Dutton here. Dutton got a new name every time he comes in. Hello, Dutton. Um, the other one that is usually the larger events, right? So like the BC championships, things like that. Um, when you're looking for those, I can't. I actually am very surprised. Some people still say they can't find it, right? But if you're looking for like the other, like we already showed you, Racing Office has pretty much everything in it that has anything to do with racing. So you're gonna find it there, right? So we already showed you down here series racing. So if you're really trying to find racing stuff and trying to, this is where you go, the Racing Office. I mean, this is where the schedule is. This is where, right? I mean, the race calendar is here. There's racing news here. I'm not sure if anybody's ever checked out the racing news, but it kind of gives you, just some quick tidbits about racing going on this week, top horses, all that stuff. Like Flying Domino has the most wins this season, has 13. So anyway, if you're looking for racing stuff, you go to Racing Office, and I actually recommend just go through all these tabs. So, George is here. Hello, George. Good evening for you, actually. Thanks for joining in. So like this tab here, Racing Office, pretty much controls everything like I said. Series racing. Now, the other big one is the BC series graded racing. Now, people still seem to, this is new for us, so I understand why it may be a little bit confusing or they can't find it. But this is something that you're really going to want to pay attention to, especially if you're racing in graded stakes and you want to run for some of the bigger races, down the line. You always kind of want to check out this area. So if you click on BC series graded racing, you're going to see this header here, and there's a bunch of mini tabs here. These are all clickable. People don't realize that. Okay. So the Breeders' Championships, it's going to give you a breakdown of the Breeders' Championships, the distance, the purse money that's being run for, those kind of things, and how points are determined, right? Automatic qualifiers. If you go to graded point structure, this explains to you the point structure for the racing series, for graded stakes racing, or the point structure for BC championships, because you can have graded stakes racing that has nothing to do with BC, and you're going to find more of those next season as we revamp the whole BC nomination, or the DD nomination as people might know it. We're going to revamp all that, and then that's going to have something to do with bonuses, etc. So there's going to be a slight change with this coming up soon, but the bottom line is, if it's in the BC series and it'll score points. This is where you can tell how many points you're scoring. So you get base points no matter what. So if you finish last, you might get 1 point. You know what I mean? But only if you finish first, second, and third do you get the big points. Okay, and grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. So again, if you want to look at the BC standings, you click here, and then you can just simply click on the standings. Okay, and you'll see who are the leaders for juvenile dirt sprint. Okay, brings you to the page. It shows you what race it is, when the finals is being run, the purse for that race, right? And it shows you the current standings. Okay. Now this race here, only 10 horses can run in the finals. So you can clearly see what horses are leading the pack for that. So you want to pay attention to this stuff to know where you're at. Now if we go back, so that's for the standings. If you want to look at the championship races, I'm going to try to set that up for next year, where it shows in one page all of the championship races. So that's not really active yet. And then, hey guys in chat too, like Jason and George, if you guys got questions, just type them out, or you can hop on the podcast if you want. Doesn't matter to me. But you can either ask your question in chat or hop on the podcast. I'll send you a link. But if you have something, just ask away. Anyways, under My Horses, this is like the most important tab, and I was showing someone this morning. I guess I didn't even know this existed. So you click on My Horses, and obviously I have no horses in the series because I don't race. I don't have a racing stable. But if you race here at Digital Downs and you're in this BC graded series, when you click on my horses, all of your horses will populate right here with their points totals and a link to the BC uh, category that they belong to. It'll all show up right here. So really use this as much as you possibly can. On the right hand side here, this can change all the time. This is just a sidebar, but and for this week, it's showing this week's BC graded stakes. So basically, it's showing you the upcoming schedule of graded stakes. So you can see these races here that are scheduled. There's many more that are closing today. It shows you the top races closing today. These are the top races, and these are the purses. So that's 1,500. That's 1,250. That's $650. $350. You can see the purses are here, and that sidebar sometimes can be used throughout the site. But I'm just kind of showing you what to expect in this series. So if you go back to BC standings again, just like the other series where it shows you all the standings, it's going to show you here. You click on it, you can see the standings, but it also shows you much more than just the standings. If you scroll down and go past the standings, and I wish I could wait, maybe I can make a way that you can see it sooner, but a lot of people don't know this, but like below the standings is the history of that series. So it shows you 917. This race on 917 canceled. Okay. Probably too early in the season for 2-year-olds for graded stakes, so it canceled. The 918 race did run, but it only ran with 4 horses, the Westtown Stakes. Okay. And this is how they finished. And it shows you the points that they're scoring for those races. Now, these are base points, so it's showing you base points, okay? And then we kicked in the BC structure later on as far as the big points. So let's go back to the top, not the top of the first race. So it shows you history. The race here on 918, you can see who won this race, this race, this race. You can see how many points they got. And so on. And you'll see as the season went on, then the points got bigger. Right here, there's a G3. The winner got 46 points, right? This one here, this G1, the winner got 91 points. So it's really important to win the race, right? You can slam all these horses you want in this race, but you're not going to score the points. We made that adjustment this season. Yeah, there could be there is a BC. So Dutton just asked a question or suggested that maybe we should have a BC logo for them races. The truth is, we already do. You just haven't seen it because we didn't use it at all this season because we knew that the BC was under. Yeah, when they're scheduled, they're on the schedule. It shows BC. Trust me, we just haven't used it this season. Next season, we will use the BC, and you will see the BC tag on all the races, the upcoming races on the schedule, whatever. So it'll differentiate itself, from regular racing. You'll be able to know right away that this race is in the BC schedule. And I'll show you an example. Actually, what I'll do is let's go pick a race. Let's go pick a race tomorrow, right? Well, before we go there, and at the bottom of this page, if you scroll all the way down, it would show you pending races, right? You can see the pending race is the juvenile sprint final. Hasn't run yet. Okay. Anyway, to Dutton's point, let's go experiment with something. Let's look at tomorrow's schedule, right? Let's just look at this claiming race right here. See how if there's nothing here, it's just a claiming race. You see the description, okay? There's nothing here about BC, right? So this is 1305 tomorrow. Great point by Jason there. I appreciate you asking the question or the suggestion. So tomorrow is the 22nd. So let's go look at 1305. Wait, tomorrow's the 23rd. Why does my computer say the 21st? All right. Tomorrow's, wow, 23rd already. 1305, right? So let's change this one to a BC race. Okay. All right. So I just changed it to a BC race. Now I'm going to refresh this page, and now on the schedule, there's two things. Now on the schedule, see how it added this right here for DD breads only? I'll change that to see BC bread to BC nominated only. Okay, that's what it added. It added this. Now I'll change that to say BC. I'll make a note of that right now. But on the schedule, if I, I'm going to take it away real quick. Let's see. BC, no. Let me show you what it would look like on the schedule if I did it. So let's go further out. Let's go pick a race on the 24th. Right? We'll do same thing. We'll do 1305. We'll change the 1305 race to a BC race. So we'll go tomorrow. We'll go race calendar. We'll go 24th. Right here it says for registered DD breads only, and I'll change that to say because the BC used to be called DD. We changed it to BC, so this says registered. So I'll change this to BC, and we'll change the color of that to orange so that you can see it. Okay. Now on the horse stats page, right? On the horse stats page, let's look for a PA bred. Oh, PA bred. Well, it doesn't have to be a PA bred. It can be, let's just look for a 2-year-old maiden. 1505. We'll change that to DD bred. Right? We'll refresh this. Bear with me 1 second. 1505 on the 24th. Oh, okay. That's why. The sorting was wrong. All right, so Jason, I'm not sure if you're still here. Oh, no, yes, because DT rated only would lead me to DD rates. All right. DD. Yeah, well, Jason, the thing is, though, we didn't use it this year, so it didn't matter. You know, we knew that when we used it, we would have to change it. We didn't use BC all season long. Why isn't this race showing up? $15.05. Maiden special weight. 1224 should be a 1505 race. Ah, that's why it's not showing up, because this horse that I'm trying to look it up with is not a BC nommed race, so the race isn't showing up. So let me go ahead and BC nom the horse real quick. Okay. No, it is nommed. So the BC's here on the horse, so now it's nommed. And 24-1505. You know, he's got me checking here. 1505. right here. Jason, you watching? Jason, that's not true. The stakes racing are the most filled races on the site. There's way more stakes races that get filled than regular racing. So I can show you the list of all of. You can just look at the standings. Look at all the horses and all the races that fill out. So you may not be entering them, and you may not be able to, whatever. But the as far as the site goes, statistically speaking, the graded races are the most run races. Jason, right here, you see right here. See, when I add the BC fee, when I add the BC nom to the schedule, so this is a horse schedule, like you're entering races, right? This is your horse stats page. So if you're entering races, if you come down the schedule page, if I change a race to BC nom, you see the orange BC right here? It puts it right here at the end, right here in this section here, BC. That tells you that it's a BC race. So that's what you'll see on that side. And then what we'll do is we'll change that same color and everything and add it to the other side. So once the horse is entered, or once you look at the other schedule, that'll all match. It'll say BC. And basically anything that's BC is part of the BC series only. That took longer to explain than I would have liked. But honestly, I haven't really looked at it in a while, so I didn't really know where to find it. I just knew we had it. So on this side, we definitely show it. On the other side, we need to change it from DD because it is confusing to BC and then change the color. So we will do that. And I will actually make a note of that right now in the programming file on Discord to clean up the BC/DD. So we'll just put that on the list and we'll hammer that out. But that's what you'll see next season. You'll see it on the list. And that you'll see that basically, and most likely when you see that, that'll also be a part of a graded stakes program. All right, not sure where I was on that. I kind of got sidetracked, but Jason had a good point that we were already aware of, that we already have actually in place, but we know we need to clean up and use the BC moving forward. The reason why it's important for the BC is because in the future, because we still have some more steps to clean up with the BC stuff, but in the future, your sire, it's going to all start with the sire. The sire needs to be a BC horse, nominated horse, in order for the offspring to be BC nominated horse. Okay. Now, so when you have the offspring, you will only get the option to BC nominated is if the sire is BC nominated. Now, what does that mean? And obviously, I'll cover this when it gets rolled out. But if the offspring or the foal is BC nominated, then that foal is eligible for the horse bonuses, the BC racing bonuses. Okay. It doesn't mean that if it's not BC nominated, it can't run in the races and it can't run in graded stakes races. It just means that it can't earn bonuses in those races. Then on top of that, during the finals week, like this week, if your horse is not BC nominated, then you'll have to pay an entry fee, while all the other horses that are BC nominated can get in for free. So there's a couple of advantages to it, to making sure that your horse is BC nominated. And while we didn't use it this much this season, it's mainly because we knew we were working on the sire bonuses, and it didn't matter at that point. So now that the sire bonuses are complete, and now we're working on the breeder bonuses and then eventually the horse bonuses, all of those will be directly tied to the BC nomination of a horse. So, and we'll cover that whole BC thing once we roll it out. All right. Now, actually, while I'm here, I wanted to cover two quick things, unless someone else jumps in with another question. So I just sent out a message the other day about the watch list. We just made a new watch list. Okay. Now the new watch list looks like this. I'd like it much better. I'm not sure what this bell does, actually. What's the bell do? Oh, look at that. So the bell is notifications. It tells you everything about that horse. Anyway, if you want to follow a horse, right, you just go to, let's say you found a horse you like. Let's go click on this, Ocean Miss by George here. I'm going to add it to my watch list. So simply added it already. I can remove it too, but I added it. So let's go back to the watch list, which is the top right area here, the bell. Let's click on that again. View the list. Now there's the Ocean Misses right here. If I wanted to see its history of what it's done, I click on the bell. There's no notifications because it hasn't done anything since I added it to my watch list. But anyway, let's go look at another one, like Go Wicked, owned by Black Ace. Let's look at the notifications. This horse has done all of this since I've added it to my watch list. Okay, I can go, obviously I can click directly on the horse here, take it to the horse page, and then from here, if I want to make an offer on the horse, I can up here, right? Make offer, right? It's going to track what races it actually. It's interesting. This shows you the last race that it was in over here. Its current earnings, but I just noticed something because let's go further out in the schedule. Let's go out to like the 27th, right? Oh no, it hasn't posted yet. Let's go to. That's interesting. How come that didn't? It must be because. There you go. That horse must have just raced. Interesting. All right, so now you see, now I added this horse. You see this horse here is an upcoming race. So this here is going to show you the race number. If you click on this race number, it'll take you to the race. Let's say it's a claimer and you want to kind of claim the horse, whatever. So in your watch list, you go here, you click on this here, and boom, there it is. There's the horse there. You can make your claim here, make an offer on horse, whatever you want to do. So I found the new watch list to be pretty cool. Now let's go. I want to take you to something else that's been added that probably no one's seen yet. So this is actually the debut of it, and it's the first time that anybody's gotten had a chance to look at this. The sell horse feature is changed. The sell horse feature has changed. If you want, look, we've changed it now. You can make offers on people's horses, or you can sell your horse, right? And there's really no in between. We kind of removed the reserve a horse feature, which people may be used to, like, you can reserve a horse for sale for somebody else, but we've kind of, we basically, that feature is no longer available. So if you go to your horse page and you click on, there's a couple of different ways to do this, and we'll cover them both. So like if you go the old way, if you sell a horse, you sell it, it takes you to the bottom of the page. It was really confusing on how to sell it in public, no, yes, and it's crazy. So we changed it, so now if you go to sell a horse, you're going to go to the sell horse button here on the horse stats page, right? You're going to sell the horse, and now it's going to take you to a new page, okay, that is active for the first time today. Okay, now this allows you to sell horses. So like, let's say I only want to look for horses in PA. So I'm going to look at the PA bred horses. This is what I got for PA, right? So Lego My Ego, right, is a 7-year-old, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click off here. I'm going to sell Lego My Ego. I'm going to scroll down the bottom, sell horse. It's going to take me to another page, amount of game credits that I want to sell for. So I'm going to sell for 10,000, which is $10, right? And then confirm. I'm going to confirm this. And now that horse is successfully sold, listed for sale. Actually, I'll have to change this. I didn't successfully sell it already. I need to change that because it says successfully sold. I'll update that. Now, it takes you back to that same sell page where you can sell whatever you want. Now, if you click on this, horses for sale, this will list all the horses you currently have for sale on the public page. See, drop down box, Lego My Ego is for sale right now. All right. And I can add something else here because I'm not showing the amount it's selling for. But obviously, if I went to market and I wanted to go. I wanted to see all the horses for sale. Go to market. You go to horses for sale. Scroll down, and you'll see Lego My Ego is for sale for 10,000. Okay, so made it real simple to list the horse for sale, right? But again, so you can click here. It will always have all your horses in one spot. I mean, how nice is that? So no more trying to figure all the stuff out. You can simply go to this page. You click horses for sale. It's going to show you all your horses for sale, and you can remove all of them instantly. Okay. Now, the other beauty of this is as well is that I can actually sell multiple horses at the same time, which you couldn't do before. Okay. So I'll go click off. Which horse is for sale? Lego My Ego is already for sale, right? So let's go back to PA Bred. Let's filter it out. I'm gonna sell this one, and this one right now. Okay. I'm gonna scroll down. I'm gonna sell horses. All three of them show up. I can enter amount in all three of them. Right? We'll sell these for $5. Wait. Okay, all that's entered. I'm going to click confirm. Boom, all horses are sold that fast. That's whole selling a horse process has been improved dramatically. Your barn list is available, Jason. So now if I go to the horses for sale, all of your horses now are for sale. You can see them all, like I was saying. So everything there is posted. It's for sale, right? And if I go to market, right, horses for sale, you'll see now all the horses for sale. Okay, let's go back and let's remove the horses. Okay, so I'm going to go back, click on this tab. I'm going to remove this horse, right? I'm not sure if you can remove all of them at the same time. You probably can somehow. The refresh on it is a little bit of a delay. I'll have to look at it. So there you go. That fast. I just removed all the horses. Jason said, yes, your barns are available. In your sort boxes, you can sort by state, Fred. You can sort by sex. And I'll fix that. I'll change the name in this, but basically, I believe I don't remember which is which, but I think 0 is female. I didn't realize that wasn't fixed yet, so I'll go back and change that. Okay, no, so 0 is 0. It looks like male. Yeah, 0 is male, 1 is female. So anyway, age, you can select by age. You can select by active or retired. So you can actually sort through your breeders, right? So anyway, it'll go active. Now, if you're in active, you can see active mode means active runners. And then these are all your barns, Jason. These are all your barns here. So whatever barn you want to go into, so you go there and you filter, it'll take you to that barn. Okay. If you go retired, okay, it'll take you. You're retired. It should show you all your retired horses in your barn. So it's all there. And if we have to make improvements to it, we will. But again, like I was saying, that process has been, clean. It's available today for the first time. Now, I actually want to check something real quick. I can't show. Hold on one second. Trying to figure out if I can show something. Okay. Let me just remove this here real quick. right. I don't know if you guys can see this now. Now, I took a shortcut to get here because I didn't want to show you some other stuff because I had inboxes from players and stuff, and I didn't want that to come up on the screen, to be honest. But if you go to your My Account section and you click that first, there's a box there called Private Sales. I'm going to change all that to make it easier to see. And I'm also going to move that link to the Market tab on the site, and I'll probably do that tonight. But if you click on that, then you get to this screen here, and this is where you can buy a horse. Like if you buy a horse, this takes you to click buy a horse. It takes you to the public sales page, right? If you click sell a horse, they take you to that same sell horse page. You can sell your horses real quick, bang bang. Pending offers that you currently have outstanding to other owners. So if you've made an offer on someone's horse, it would show here. If someone has made offers on your horses, it'll show here. And obviously, we have block offers. If you want to block people from making offers to you, you can do that here. Okay. So again, this is in one place here for everything. And what I'll do is I'll move this link to the Market tab. I'll call it something else or whatever. I don't know, but you will be able to find all of these in one spot. It makes it easier to make offers, check offers, buy a horse, or sell a horse. So again, it may not seem like a lot, but it's little stuff like this, one at a time, making it an easier process and a clearer understanding for everybody. That's going to make the game kind of thrive moving forward. So we'll keep working on it. You have my word on that for sure. What else we want to do while I'm here? That's pretty much all I wanted to show. And we can talk about whatever we want to talk about. I do still need to pay out the November meat bonuses. That's technically 11 days behind. So I will try to work on that today to get that done. I know there's a few guys that are waiting for that. Yeah, so Jason said that would be cool if your barn list was available. Yep, I showed you. So your barn list is available. You can see for yourself. It's live and running. You can go on your own stable and take a look at it. What else we want to get into? Can you sell horses as a package deal with the new feature? Okay, Bobby Dazzler, Gary, has asked a question on Discord, and he asked, can you sell horses as a package deal with the new feature? Right now, you can't, but I can tell you that some time ago, we put a lot of time and money into the programming for that. That is like 95% done, which is the ability to package up horses together. And I think, so put it this way, that was a prior project before we just completed this one. And this one is so much easier and so much cleaner that now they can revisit the package one. Okay. And see if we can get that done in a much easier way. Because before they were trying to use the old code and the old programming and that old way to sell a horse, which was so complicated as it was, to then try to sell a package of them was even harder. And then to see if you wanted to reserve it for somebody, all that good stuff. So I think with this new process, we may be able to add the group feature back to it and complete that. It's a great question. And I will send that into programming because we're actually not even currently working on that. We've kind of forgotten all about that. So I will pose that question to them and see what they say, since the code we're using now is much cleaner. It should be easier. So thanks, Gary, for the question. That's my answer. Check. I'm going to add it to the programming list. Check group sales package. Yep, good question there. What else? Anything else? No more questions. You got all these new stables here. They don't got no questions for me. By the way, while I got the mic, just want to remind people a couple things. Yeah, well, it's, I get messages all the time, right? And understandably so, right? I'm very active with the community, and you have direct access to me, which I think is fantastic. I don't know of any other place that even does that or has that ability, but I'm here for you guys. I'm here for the community. I'm here every single day, and I'll always be here. You can count on me in that aspect. Now, obviously, there may be a couple of days where I'm offline, but you'll know that, and I always get back to you. But with that being said, hold on, I got another message. So with that being said, I just want to remind everybody that's listening or watching, when they message me, please keep this in mind. I have no problem giving you some insight on your stable, on your horses, some philosophy things, or how to do this or how to do that. Help you in any way that I can or should. But what I won't do is I won't tell you how you should run a certain race. I won't tell you specifics on strategy on any race that you're in, or something that's more detailed instructions. That's not something that I will ever do. It's not. In case there's any question there, it's not something that I always do. So, I get questions all the time, but those are the ones you can expect that when you ask me specifics about racing, okay, and details about racing, and more in particular to your horses, expect that there will be no answer. I'm going to decline. I'm just going to say, hey, listen, I wish I could help you out, but that's not what I do. So just keep that in mind when you're asking me all these questions and you're inboxing me via whether it's the forum or Discord, whatever it is that there's a line there that obviously you're putting me in a position that I don't necessarily like. You know what I mean? And I hate to say no to people and stuff like that, but that answer will be no, that I won't be able to help you out. But keep the questions coming, especially if you're new. I mean, there's tons of people that will help you out, but I'm always here as well, and to work through anything you need to work through. I won't be giving you information that will give you an advantage over one of your peers. So anyway, with that being said, hopefully you will understand that and respect that. John H., my man here, said, keep up the good work. You got it, John. Well, I'm going to keep plugging away at this. I do this for you guys. Like I said before, it's a communities game. We build what you guys need. We take input. We suggestions, whatever it is. We're going to keep marching this thing forward. Jason asked about, let's talk about the Eliminator series. Good suggestion there. So the Eliminator series, for people that don't know what the Eliminator series is, it's the largest horse racing tournament, virtual horse racing tournament in the world. I can safely say that because I know about horse racing tournaments, and they just you don't get that many entries in single races. So, for instance, your 2-year-old, this is how the tournament is run by age. So the Eliminator tournament starts the first week of the new season, which in our case would be January 2nd. I believe the 4-year-olds run, but it's for 2-year-olds run together, 3-year-olds run together, 4-year-olds run together. In the Eliminator tournament, the 2-year-old horses and the 3-year-old horses must be unraced. They are all maidens, yes, but they are also unraced. If we see a 3-year-old that's entered into the Eliminator tournament that has a race, even though it didn't win, but has a race, it will be disqualified. So it's very important to know that the Eliminator tournament is for unraced 2-year-old and 3-year-olds, and 4-year-olds are allowed to have one win. They can be maidens or one win. Now, what is the Eliminator tournament? It's exactly what the name says. It's the Eliminator. You basically will run a bunch of heats. So let's say 2-year-olds gets 200 entries into the tournament. Okay, these 2-year-old horses will be divided by eight horse fields. Maybe you'll have 30 heats. Okay, and what you want to do is finish in the top 4 of your heat so you can advance. If you don't finish in the top 4, you are eliminated. Again, there'll be many, many heats. You're not going to win the whole tournament in the first race, okay? So it doesn't even matter if you win. What you want to do is get through to the next round. That's the name of the game. You want to get through each round. If not, you'll be eliminated. So you just want to finish in the top 4. And the 5, 6, 7, 8 spots are all eliminated, and then they're out of the tournament. So we do this for the 2-year-olds, the 3-year-olds, the 4-year-olds. Generally, there's race purse money every single race, but it's also building towards the semifinals and the finals, where over $2,000 is up for grabs in these tournaments. So it's it's a big tournament. It's a lot of fun. It's fast action. I mean, the 2-year-old, 3-year-old eliminator nights, they'll be 2-3 hours long of just straight eliminator heats. It gets no better than that. It's exciting. But you also get to get an early look in on the horse's ability. Now, there'll be many, many disappointments. There'll be great horses entered that are going to get bounced out in the first round, and they're great horses. That's just the way the race went. It didn't go in their favor. It was either a bad trip, they got blocked, wasn't the ideal setup, different pace, whatever it may be, but it just didn't work out for them. And these horses will go on, and they'll go on to win big races and big money. Other ones won't cut the grade. You're going to find them in claimers or worse than that. Some people ask the questions, or some people have think that if you run in the eliminator, then maybe you're putting a lot of wear and tear on your horses. Look, we've had horses that have won the eliminator, that have gone on to win the championships as a 2-year-old later in the season, and have gone on to win all their graded stakes racing as 3-year-old. So there's no specific way or best way to do this. But the eliminator tournament is a lot of fun. You still have 10 more days to enter your horses. Now, I highly recommend that people are buying 2-year-olds right now. I know the yearlings are out, and the yearlings are fun to have, and people love breeding yearlings, but you need 2-year-olds right now for 2 reasons. One, the 3-year-old eliminator tournament. Okay? You won't be able to race the tournament unless you have maiden 3-year-olds. Number 2, you need to make sure you have enough horses to cover the 3-year-old race card for the season. If you don't have any 3-year-olds, or if you don't have any, that many 2-year-olds now, you're going to have a tough 3-year-old campaign. Either you're just not going to have that many races to run in, or you just don't have that many options. So it's really, really important to not forget about the late season 2-year-old breeding that you need to do to make sure that you have the proper stock to cover your 3-year-old card. This is a fast-paced game. We cover a year and 4 months. These horses race often, every 4 days, every 5 days, whatever it may be. So make sure you have the horses. As far as the 1-year-olds go, the 1-year-olds, or let's say the 2-year-old eliminator tournament, okay, those are for 2-year-old horses only. So they're either going to be for the yearlings you have now, or the 2-year-olds that are born in the first week of the season. The 2-year-old eliminator is like the 4th or 5th day of the season, so that gives you like 4 or 5 days of breeding to get these horses into the tournament. Excuse me. And you're going to want to be in the tournament. So it's really important to get your breeding down and correct these last 10 days of the season. Jason, hopefully that covered everything for the eliminator that you were hoping for. Eliminator is a ton of fun. It's a lot of horses, a lot of heats. It's a lot of racing. And it ends with a bang with some nice big purses, and you put your name down in history. Your horse wins the eliminator. There's only so many, there's only a few, there's 3 winners every single season. That's it. And you'll forever be remembered as the eliminator champion. Bill, there you go, Bill. Berkey, hi, Bob. Just stopped in to say how much fun the eliminator is. Yes, I know my man Berkey here. He loves the eliminator. But like, Berkey, that would be my favorite part of the season, and it's in the first week. To me, the eliminator is just so much fun. It's so exciting. And the other thing that's cool about the eliminator is that it lasts practically a month, right? Because that's how many heats you have running. So if you make it to the finals, you're talking about 4 weeks of racing in the eliminator. And it's like, win or go home, basically. Thanks, Burke, for jumping in and saying hello and stating that. So love having you on board with the eliminator. And that's fast approaching. We have a lot going on. He says, please see my question. The question is, do you think entering a horse like American Tank neglects other races, or always enter your yearlings in the tournament? It's a good question, but you have to look at it this way. Basically, what Jason, the casino guy, is saying is, let's say you have a really good yearling, or what you believe, because this is all just potential at this point, okay? Works don't guarantee you anything. So let's say you potentially have a good horse, right? If you potentially have a good horse that's a yearling, his question basically is, Do you run it in the eliminator versus run it in regular races where you could be missing out on money or big races or whatever it is? It's a good question, but I want you to think about it like this. If your horse is a yearling, so it's going to turn 2, right? So where are all the 2-year-olds going to be running? Most likely, the large percentage of them will probably be entered in the eliminator tournament, which means if you're looking for a race for your horse, American Tank, let's say you're looking for a Blue Blood Maiden, or you're looking for a D division race added, or there's no graded stakes racing. There's no graded stakes racing for 2-year-olds in the beginning of the season. Okay, so that's part of your question. I just gave you the answer. That's not going to happen. Never is, never will be. The If you're looking for other good races, will those races fill? That's what you have to ask yourself. There's so many horses. All these maiden horses are going to be in the eliminator. And then after those entries are over, then people breed more or whatever, and then those regular races on the card fill. Come the third week of the season, then you see a lot more 2-year-old races filled because either people have done more breeding or more horses have been knocked out of the eliminator. Okay? So, yeah, he says no stakes. That's all I need to know. No stakes. Yeah, there's no stakes in the first couple weeks because there's nobody to run against. Stakes horses. In order to enter a stakes race, you need to have a win. There's a 1-win requirement to run in the stakes race. Well, how are you going to get your win? You need to break your maiden first. So not only do you need to break a maiden, but a bunch of other people need to break maiden just to have enough horses to fill that stakes race. So it's a process. Okay, and that's why most people run their 2-year-olds in the eliminator unless they have some voodoo theory about what an eliminator does to the wear and tear of their horse. To each its own on that. There's nothing in the system that says because you run the eliminator, your horse is going to stink later. There's nothing like that in the coding. I can guarantee you that. Each horse is its own individual, has its own unique aspect of it when it comes to racing, lifespan, etc. All right. Berkey says, very exciting to watch those races, especially if you're planning on doing live racing podcasts. Yeah, I mean, I do plan on doing a live racing broadcast. It's always more fun on these live racing broadcasts when you get more people to do it with you. Like when Black Ace was doing the show, he had more people on with him, and he was doing live podcasts. Like, that's fun stuff. I wish they were still doing it, but they're not. But when you do, like, for me to be on a live podcast doing eliminator horses and 3 hours of eliminators, it's going to wear me out, and I don't think I'm going to get through 3 hours of it. And I may not feel like talking straight for 3 hours, so it's always nice to have other people on the podcast with you that can take over for you when you want to take a break or whatever it is. And it is quite the long process. So anyway, good questions and thoughts there. But the eliminator also, the last piece on this, is as unique because the distance. The eliminator, all the races are run on 1 mile dirt. Okay, which means you get a mixed bag in your field. You got stayers, you got classic horses, you got sprinters, you got super sprinters, you got all this stuff. Everybody's entered in the same race, right? So you don't know who you're going to match up against. If 200 entries go in, and then we divide it out, okay, you don't know who you're going to match up against. So you might have a sprinters running against stayers, and so you're going to see a lot of movement in these races, and it's very challenging. So like you might have a fantastic horse at a mile, but just because it's at a mile, it doesn't mean that you're going to win or you're even going to advance, because you have other horses in there that are messing around with your trip, right? Who's got the rail, not rail, who's swinging out wide, who's coming up from behind, who blocks in the field, who went out front with the pace and died off and is now messing all the horses up behind it as they try to come around it. I mean, there's so many other things that are involved with racing here that are going to impact that race. So be mindful of that when you enter your great horses and they get spanked in the first round, because that's just the way it is. That's racing. You may come back out and win the next 9 races, but after you get, it's once you overcome that disappointment of that first race. What else was it? I was going to say something else about the eliminator. There was something else I wanted to mention. It was important. It was about it's slipping my mind now. Oh, Okay, here it is. Just so the guys that don't know, when we do split races here, when the races are already programmed to split, if let's say the max field size is 8 horses for the eliminator, and there's 16 horses entered, and you have 2 entered, so your stable alone has 2 entered of the 16. The system knows already it's going to split the race into two. When it splits the race into two, it's also going to split your entries into one in each. So that way you're assured that both your horses will not be running in the same heat. So that's important to you because there's going to be people here that enter 20, 30 horses. I'm not kidding. There's going to be people here that are entering 20, 30 horses into the eliminator, two-year-olds only. They plan on having a runner in every single heat. They know that when they put 30 horses in, that their horses are going to be evenly divided amongst the heats. So it's good to know that. Don't have any fear if you add 5 horses to the eliminator that you're going to have 5 horses in one race. It's not going to happen. They're all going to be split. The only time you'll ever have multiples in the same race is if your horse count, your horse entry count exceeds the number of races that we're going to have. So if you have 15 horses and we only have 10 heats, then in 5 of the heats you'll have double horses. Now that doesn't happen until later. Now that's a good problem to have if it's later. Because if we're in the quarterfinals and you still have 12 horses left, you have a fantastic shot at getting through to the finals. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. I just wanted to add that in there. Don't be afraid to add as many horses as you want because we're going to split those fields. Right. And we're talking about that. Papa John said I didn't get a bad trip. Absolutely, bad trips happen. And if you watch the races, you can kind of tell. Even though the races are like a reenactment, or they're trying to replicate what the race engine is doing for you, it's a pretty close. As far as you can read kind of what's going on. I mean, if you're more of a router and your horse breaks really slow and you like to close and you're sitting 7 back, okay, on the rail, you got nothing but traffic in front of you. You got dying sprinters, you got classic horses, so you're going to have to navigate that. And if it doesn't work out in your favor, just like real life, okay, because no one's guaranteed a perfect trip in real life horse racing. If you don't get the right trip, your horse is going to fight through it. If your horse is fighting through it, it's burning up a lot of stuff, right? And then hopefully it can fight through it and get through to the top 4. But bad trips happen, and I guarantee you, it's going to happen to everybody. Let's see. While we think of some more questions, if anybody's got any, um, check Discord here, see if there's any updates. Nope, no more questions on Discord. But we're closing out the end of the season here. We have the 2-year-old BC championships on the 24th. That's Saturday. No, wait. What is today? 22nd, right? 23rd. Yeah. So that's Saturday. We follow that up with an enormous Christmas Day. Now I got to tell you, it's interesting because Christmas, there's never any racing on Christmas. Actually, our program doesn't even allow us to schedule races on Christmas. So I have to manually enter them for Christmas Day. So what we did was we put together a bunch of special Xmas Day racing. Check it out. There's a bunch of match races in there, which are fun. A bunch of one-on-ones. There is a nice heavy list of graded stakes racing. Okay. And on top of that, we have the 3-year-old and 4-year-old BC championships. So it's Christmas Day. Now I know a lot of people are going to be with their families celebrating, and it's great. That's awesome, right? And if someone's on game, they're on game. I know I'll be checking in and out all day because that's what I do. Digital Downs is a part of my life, so I'm always around it. But it's going to be a fantastic day of racing, Christmas Day. And then we move past that and we get in. Oh, also Christmas Day, like I said before, is the Old Town. It's either the Old Town or the Juvenile Championship, I forget. And then we move past that. We run into the World Stakes Day, which is the last day of the season. We have an auction before that, which is I believe the 20th or 29th. So we have an auction. Then we run into the last day of the season, which is the World Stakes Day. And so there's a lot of fun there. A couple series finals. Then we go through age change. Then, which is can be a fun or aggravating day on the first, depending on how you look at it. Because, from my standpoint, I get a lot of yays and a lot of nays that day. All right, people are unhappy about the age change, or they're happy about this one. So it can be one of them days where I can just check out for like 5-6 hours. I already know there's gonna be a bunch of people bitching and moaning, okay, about their horses, and then 5 days later that horse is winning a grade 2. So I try not to pay that much attention to it. I might care, so it bothers me when people do it. So I'm trying not to, because there's always so much moaning on age change. I just have to remember that it's normal, and it's normal for people to react that way. That's their horses, that's their stable. So I just try to, take a back seat and let that kind of clear through. It's a fun day, and then we move right on into the eliminators. Actually, I seen Tony's joking around on Discord about what Gary asked for. The Dan, Foggy Dan Farms, he originally asked for that package thing about 2 years ago, and I did work on it over the summer. I got COVID, and I was pretty sick trying to deal with all that stuff, and then trying to build that with the programmers, and finally I just gave up and put that to the side, and I never went back to it. Kind of forgot all about the package deal for sales. All right, so John says, wait, here, let's go to the questions here. Papa John says, can a 2-year-old get better or worse with age change? So a 2-year-old, I assume you mean a 2-year-old turning 3-year-old. The 2-year-old turning 3 can get better. However, for some reason, you might find it misleading, because the work times may actually get a couple ticks slower. So let's say you had a horse running at 6 furlongs and it was 108.30, and you train it as a 3-year-old and it goes 108.34. So in your mind, you're thinking that it got slower. It's really just a variable effect to the 34. It's about how they handle the weight that they're running with. They're moving from 120 to 122. So you're not really seeing a positive change in that aspect. Now, I'm not saying some can, but I'm just saying when you see the one that's negative, like 0.05 or whatever, it's more of how it's working with that new weight that it's running with. The true test of that as well will be also when you race it on the 3-year-old card, because you have to remember these two main things about 2-year-olds turning 3. One, all of them are going through age change, and 2, no, there aren't any more new horses coming in to disrupt or to upset the balance of things. So whatever you have as a 3-year-old, if you get a good age change and you're running a 3-year-old and you're running in stakes as a 3-year-old, there's no new 3-year-olds that are going to pop up, okay, for competition. That's the biggest difference between 3-year-old and 2-year-old. 2-year-old, you can have a fantastic 2-year-old, but doesn't mean that a month from now another great one won't be born, right? That's the beauty of 3-year-old and 4-year-old racing. What you have is what you have. So if you're the king of the hill as a 3-year-old, you're the king of the hill for the whole season. So when you see age change with 3-year-olds, don't panic. You're going to see a much better age change from 3 to 4 visually with the works. Works tend to get a bit faster. And again, it's about how they actually adjust and are working with the weight. Okay. So, and you may find this year we experiment a little bit more with 126 pounds for 4-year-olds. So I'm just saying, take your age change lightly. It does not a make or break thing, because everybody's going through it. And if the majority of horses have that, let's say if all the horses were working 108.30 and they're now all working 108.34, it's, I'm saying, there's only so much you can tell from the works. You're going to have to race them and see what happens. 2 to 3, you're not going to see some crazy change of like, a horse gets 0.20 faster. That's just not, well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe some do, but because I'm sure someone will tell me they have stories that they do. But I'm just saying, overall, it's highly unlikely that a mass number of horses are going to get this huge bump from 2 to 3. 3 to 4, that's a different story. Hopefully that answered your question. Next question is, so thanks, John, with that. Jason says, Bob, show them Tizzy image horse ran like junk in the eliminator, but got better later on in the season. The Tizzy image. Let me see if I can find it. Let's do a hearse. Tizzy image. Here we go. Tizzy image. This horse here is owned by Greco. Was Greco even here for the eliminator? So Tizzy image. I'm just going blind based on what Jason said. Okay, so Tizzy image entered the eliminator. That shows up right here. We didn't call it the eliminator because the first race, you have to be able to find it in your race schedule. If I change the code to it, then you can't find it. So that usually always says maiden. So it came out and ran second in the first eliminator, goes to the second round, makes it through the second round. What did he say? Horse ran like junk in it. No, how it didn't run like junk in the eliminator. Now that I'm looking at it, actually ran well. So he had a second, a fourth. He won the third round and then got knocked out in the fourth round. And then I guess because he got knocked out in the fourth round, they're not sure about the horse. They enter an allowance. It finishes sixth. They drop it down into optional claimers. It wins. Goes to open general stakes third, G2 second, and then gets stronger as the season wins a G1, G3, G2, G1, G2. So yeah, so you're right about that part of it, Jason. So yeah, so this horse, a good example we were saying earlier, was in the eliminator, ran the heats, right? Eventually got knocked out. A little bit discouraging with some of the allowance and claiming races, but wins that optional claimer, and he throws it right back into stakes, regains its form, pace picks up, starts winning graded stakes. So you have a horse now that I'm not sure if it's in the BC championships or not, but has really good stakes form after running in the opening season graded stakes. So clearly you can win the eliminator or lose in the eliminator and go on and have a fantastic season. And this one here was a 3-year-old. He most likely bought this horse as a 2-year-old at the end of the season, like I'm suggesting to do now, to hold it for the eliminator, and that's what he did. Now this horse now is closing in on $900 in earnings. So fantastic job there by a good trainer, Rico Holden. So yeah, Jason, good job there. Burke is next up here. He's got a question here or a statement. It says, Old Town Final is on Christmas Day, and I got a note from Paul that Toxic State will not run in the race. Does that mean it will be 9-horse final, or will the 11th point horse move into the finals? Now, I have no problem, and I already planned on this, so it's nobody really asking me a question and making me do this. I had already planned on, if a horse had moved from the Old Town into the BCs, that I would allow that spot to be filled. I have no idea who's in the 11th spot, but whoever's in the 11th spot would be allowed to run in the spot. This goes two ways. Either if that race, if the Old Town Final posts, and let's say Toxic State had the 7th hole, Toxic State is going to be pulled out of that for the championships. I would allow the 11th horse to be entered so the 10 horses are in the race as they should be, but you would have to take that 7th gate that was vacated by Toxic State. Now, if I can pull it out ahead of time, and enter the other horse at a time, then I will do that, and I will take a look at that tonight. But either way, that race should run with 10. It's only the reason why we have to do it that way is because that old racing series that I showed you is all automated. I don't control that entry and scratch process on that from in an automated way. Otherwise, I would have already taken care of that. But it's also a poor scheduling on my part. I didn't think this far ahead. We scheduled the Old Town meet on the same day as the BC Championships. I had never thought in a million years that an Old Town horse would be in the BC finals, but I love it. Just proves that 5-year-olds can run on this game. So I welcome it. And but next year I'll make sure that they're on different dates. I don't know. Hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, we do plan on running the 10, and the 11th owner will be contacted. Thanks, Bill, with that. I'm going to take a little sip here of my coffee. What up, fellas? What else is going on? What's new? A lot of new members on the site. That's good to see, right? I mean, hopefully they're getting the information they need. We have a lot of tutorial videos for them to watch, but as everybody knows, you can't learn everything just by watching the video. There's a lot of trial by error. For these new guys, check out the free races. Actually, not for the new guys, for the older guys, check out the free races. Make sure these new guys that are trying to run free races get those races filled and run. Okay, they're trying to enter these free races to learn the game and learn how things run, and then they don't get enough entries, and then the races cancel. It's not doesn't take much to throw a dog in one of these races just so these guys get to see their horses run. I saw one that was posted for today or tomorrow. I had 3 runners. The minimum amount was 4, so I adjusted it, made it 3, just so those 3 horses can run in the free race. It's not there to go, beat the new guys. That's not what it's about. It's about just getting the community. It's helping the community, making sure the free races run. So, um, feel free to fill some of them free races for these guys, or look at where the minimum requirements are. If you see a free race that has 2 entries and it needs 4 to run, throw a dog in there or whatever. Let that race run. So these new members can kind of just get used to how things go here. Let's see what else. Show them how to multi-train. I think I have a video on how to multi-train. Not sure. I don't like messing around with my stable, but because mine are all just like programming and practice stuff. Let's see. Main stable, multi-train. You can train your horses against each other. If you're a new stable here and you're not sure about how to do this, you're going to go to main stable. You're going to go to multi-trainer, or no, multi-horse workout. See, it gets a little confusing. Multi-train is something we used in the past. You don't really use that now. That's just actually to train and adjust your meters and build your meters back up. Multi-horse workout is actually working your horse out with times, very similar to doing a regular workout with your horse, but you're doing it with a multi-horse workout. Okay? So if you click multi-horse workout, this is where you can select different horses to run against each other. And I'm not going to do it, but you would select your horses here, right? You have to check off the posts. If these aren't checked off, they're not going to run. So you check off, hey, I want to use post 1. I want to use post 2. I want to use post 3. And what's great about multi-horse training is you can do it over and over and over again because we have that reset meters option. Now, it's a little time consuming, but if you want to, you can run a few horses together and you can change their gait positions. So run it 5, 10 different times. You can change the jockeys for each one, okay? The weight and the instructions. You can run the race. Then reset everybody's meters, come back in, do it again. See, run the same race back to back. See if you get similar results. Run the same horses, but run them differently in different gates. See how the results change. And you can learn a lot about your horses and instructions and impacts of that kind of stuff. But you have to remember that when you're working your horse out, and this is like, I don't know, when I get a lot of questions from new players, usually around the same kind of thing about workout times and how come my horse is so, I have a fast workout time, but my horse ran like crap. Look, man, your fast workout times, I mean, they mean something, but they're not everything. Let's look at it from a realistic standpoint, right? Let's go to a regular track. Let's go to a real horse racing track, right? You can go watch morning workouts or horses that do their workout times. Now, if you have a horse that works 6 furlongs, or let's say a horse works 4 furlongs in, I don't know, a horse works 4 furlongs in 2 minutes, right? Now, I'm going to pretty much assume that horse, ain't no way that horse is going to run. Ain't no way the horse is going to run in 6 furlongs. The horse is just slow. So the potential isn't there, okay? Just at the game, you do a workout with a horse, it's extremely slow. Let's say you do a 6 furlong work on Digital Downs and it comes up 109.50. It's really slow. So depending on the splits, most likely it's too slow. It's not going to be able to race or do well, okay? There's no potential there. So so the workouts mean something. So if you work a horse at 108.60, then it has potential. It's potential only, but at least it has the potential. There's a possibility that horse can be something. So it has to start somewhere, right? But just because it does runs like that, it doesn't mean that this horse is going to do XXX in a race, because what we seem to always forget about our workout times get us excited because it gives us potential. But when you enter a race, there's so many other factors in a race that aren't included in a workout. You got weather. You don't even know if wind's involved, do you? Tailwind. Not, you don't know how much the speed of the surface is in there. You don't know. At what level? Is it fast? Is it really fast? Is it super fast? Is it slow? Is it super slow? You don't know the impacts of running lanes. Everybody knows that if you run 4 wide versus on the rail, you're technically covering more distance, right? I mean, all these factors come into play. You don't know how it handles being blocked. You don't know how it handles live instructions. You don't know. I mean, so there's so many other things that are involved in a race that a workout won't give you. And that's, so you have to take that into consideration when you're doing your workout. So not to get way off track with the multi workouts, but your workout times matter in the fact that you need something to start with. You need the potential. Then you need to take it to the track. And then all these other factors are involved in actual racing. Any horse can look golden running by itself in a workout along the rail in a beautiful day, in a beautiful setting, and kind of just cruising along, right? It doesn't mean anything when you throw it in the middle of 10 horses and say, hey, go fight for what you want. So anyway, that's multi-horse workout. Let's see. George, I have no idea what you're talking about as far as you're having issues entering horses. The only thing I can suggest that you do, George, is send me a message of the name of the horse, and then I can then check it out personally for you and find out what the issue is. It could be just a subscription thing, because there are plenty of races already scheduled for the race card for January is already scheduled, except for about 90 races that I'm going to be adding. So they all should be there. So the only thing I can think of is that there's certain check boxes that are checked off, or there's a subscription issue. But George, if you want to send me a message on, let's say, specifically a certain horse, and then I can go in and then look at it with that horse and then see what you see. And if there is an issue, then I can actually fix it. If there's not an issue, then I can explain it. That's probably the best way to do it. So I would say message me the horse. And I'll do that here as soon as I get off of the podcast. All right. Thanks, George. Sorry for if you're having troubles there, but we'll get to the bottom of it. Man, John said, some of the website pages are old stuff. Are they going to be redone at a later date at Quick Start Guide? Yes, they will be done. And, to be completely honest with you, I'm always looking to update stuff. I'm always looking to, make the changes that make sense. And because of that, it then makes things more outdated than they should be, right? And then I forget that those pages even exist. So, like, if you look at the new, he said specifically, what did he say? He said specifically, or going to be random, like Quick Start Guide. So let's go check out the Quick Start Guide, because he's right. I haven't looked at this Quick Start Guide. I have never worked on this Quick Start Guide. So Quick Start Guide, train, equip, race, watch, breed. So, well, I mean, all this stuff here is relevant because you can use this stuff if you want to. Time workouts, multi-train. See, again, that name, Sheshmi multi-workout. Meter movement explains the meter. See, some of the stuff I have to leave here because people may still choose to use that option as far as working with their meters. We made it easier with resetting meters, but there's maybe some old school people that believe in working with their meters and know that all of their meters at 100% may not be ideal for them racing, right? They may want their strength meter at 97%, or they may want their endurance meter at 98%. And it gives them a way and an opportunity to do that. And this explains to you how to use that process. So I can't do nothing with that. I can't do nothing with this. I mean, this is all accurate. This here this explains to you what your medications and equipment do for your horse. So that's all accurate. Horse characteristics. I guess I could update this part of it, which to me doesn't really tell you a whole lot. So I could look at updating that. I mean, they're older pages, but they're still relevant. We could probably update it and make it more current look, feel, and data. I can take a look at it. But yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like out of sight, out of mind for me as I'm working on other stuff. But yeah, it could use an update. Because that's not the one. I mean, because there's other ones actually that I would update. Like that could use an update, but it really, if you go to new stables and you go, because there's new stuff I've added here, but then I have to finish it. So like tutorial, this here is just a tutorial that I guess you get when you sign up. Kind of explains everything to you in a short form. Jockey Silks, well, that's coming back, guys. So the good news is we are actually working on the ability to customize your silks again. Rules of play, training and workout help. So again, this is stuff that people can still use if they want. It's tough to kill this. I mean, I guess I could update this portion here with the times, but it's still relevant. It doesn't really matter what the time is. It's still telling you the same thing, right? I can't even tell you the last time I've been on some of these pages, but yeah, I'll have to find some time to go through it all. The welcome page was something I tried creating a while ago. It does nothing for me. Just taking up space. That actually can probably be trashed. New member offers. There's the get free. I mean, I guess these pages can be consolidated or cleaned up, which I'll try to find some time for that. But right now I'm so busy with the new season, I don't think I can get to it for at least a few weeks. But point taken. Video gallery is something new I added. The main video gallery, this hasn't been updated, but I'll try to get to that. That has a bunch of our YouTube videos. And then I have the tutorial videos here. I got to number 11. I need to do number 12 and keep going with that. Hopefully these are helpful. I'm not sure. I've never got any feedback on any of these videos that I've done, so I don't really know if it's helpful for the game or not, but I'm going to keep doing it anyway. But definitely after the new year, because I'm just swamped right now with programming. We got that new 3D Unity player going in. I mean, there's just a bunch of stuff going on, and I just feel like I have no time in the day, and I don't do everything by myself. People sometimes think that I'm doing everything. I don't. We have programmers, we have coders, we have developers, we have security people, we have but a lot of the stuff that I'm hands on with, especially late in the season and into the new season, it's so hectic. But hopefully the stuff is helpful. But see, John, there's actually other areas that I know need to be updated that are old, and I do already have a plan to be going through the site and updating everything I possibly can to its current form. Sweet Stables had asked for this a while ago, so yeah, I'm behind schedule on it, and I will get to it. So good point. What else we got? Okay, cool. He said they are helpful. Okay, good, because I actually make them and I forget about them. I make them, I post them, I forget about them. We need to do more of the YouTube stuff, because before we did the podcast, I was always posting like YouTube races and all kinds of stuff. And then we started doing the podcast, and I didn't do the videos anymore. Lee, Black Ace, and Winning 420 and Foggy Dan, they all used to do podcasts. I'm not sure why they don't do them anymore, but that's okay. You know, we'll figure it out. But they used to do podcasts, so I stopped doing the other postings. But since there's no podcast, I need to, you know, keep that active. I think it's good for everybody. Example horse. Shit. Hold on one second. All right, what do you say? Can't wait for video. Oh, for what video? So you can't wait for the video. What video? Oh, you mean like the more help videos, like the next one? That's funny. You see that T-shirt? I have the same T-shirt on right now. Actually, I love my Sixers. Oh, you can't see it. Secret City. I have to go then too. Okay. Oh, actual races. Why? Can you watch the 3D player? What is this? What the hell is that? Yeah, we used to do the video. We used to do like replays of the 3D play of the Go Leafs. Yeah. Yeah, no, we'll post more actual races, and then obviously when we get the new Unity rolled out, it's going to be 10 times easier because that's all free play in the browser. So I'm looking forward to having that done. All right, let's see what else we can cover real quick while I'm in here. Just like I said, man, we're just talking horses, man. I'm not. Oh, let me show you another trick that I know a lot of new players aren't going to know about. So this is nifty. So if you go and enter a race, right? So I'm gonna act like I'm gonna enter a race. So we'll pick this horse here, right? And then we'll pick a race to enter, right? We're gonna go. You guys, first of all, you guys need to start entering some races, man. I get it's the end of the year, but Jesus, we got thousands of races sitting in stables, and I got races canceling left and right because it's the last week of the season, and people are only focused on age change or championships or whatever. But I hate seeing stuff canceled. So let's say we're entering this race here, right? So we enter this. Check this little trick out and see. And you can't see it. You're not gonna be able to see it on your screen, I don't think. But I'm gonna tell. I want you to go try this so you can see for yourself. Okay. If you go and this is your jockey selection. So like, let's say you're trying to check out quick jockey stats, right? If I go here and I pull up the jockeys and I say I go to, see, you can't see it. It's not showing up on the screen for some reason. But there's a pop-up box. So if you click here, the box pops up with the jockey names. Now, if you leave your cursor over the name of the jockey, okay, there's statistics that are going to pop up. So go try it for yourself, Okay. And when it pops up, okay, it's going to show you how many times this jockey has run this exact race. Okay. The exact race setup. So if you hover over Cedillo at 1 mile at a maiden on dirt, this jockey has 44 races and 9 wins. Okay. He has a 20%, 20.45 win rate. He's in the money, 43.18. His earnings over 300,000. Okay. So it's showing you the specific statistics for that race type. Now, that's very important. And many people don't know it exists and they don't use it. So try it. Nominate a horse, click the box. Okay. Like I said, you can't see it on my screen right now. For some reason, it doesn't come through on the video. Now, go to any jockey, scroll down to jockey, and just hover over the jockey for like a second, and you'll see a stat box pop up. And it's going to show you how many times in that exact specific type of race that jockey did. So that's not its overall stats. It's specific to that type of race. So it's even more important than overall stats. So try that out. So go nominate your horse, go check out the jockeys, pull the box up, and go hover over it and check its data and go through it. You'll learn some stuff, trust me. But while we're talking about jockeys, we actually made an update to the jockey page. We updated some of the data on here. So if you go to like turf races 4, 5, 6, and then you have nice data here. So you can use this sort box here, or you can go by track, whatever works best for you. What else? A couple more minutes of this. Latest workouts. Check out some fast 1-year-olds. Let's go see some fast 6 furlong workouts for 6 furlongs. What do we got here? The fastest one today or yesterday. Fastest workout yesterday by a yearling at Gulfstream was Mr. Mulux from LP Stables, the gelding 108.60. The fastest one on turf at Gulfstream was Borger Skies Panhandle Barnes 108.86. The fastest workout at Belmont was 108.65 Buttercup by Nova Scotia. Some nice stable name, nice new stable. I mean, it's nice to see new stables here with these numbers. The Hazard looks like he's loaded. Let's see. Buttercup also ran at Belmont Turf for the fast time. So Buttercup. All right, let's go check. There's another tab here people don't use that often. Go to Racing News and go to Daily Report. And we'll see yesterday's news. You can see yesterday's winners. You can see breeding activity. See Bronx Bomber, Canadian Skies, Cardi B. Let's see. Fat Joe. These are all. Wait, is that the horse name? Yeah, horse name. Full bidders, a mix here of homebreds and sales rank, Exterminator, foregone conclusion. I bet you this horse is nice. Let's see. 104.50. This is a 2-year-old gelding. He gelded the horse. I guess it made it fast as shit. Let's see. I don't know anything about this one. I don't know nothing about that sire or dam. So this is a yearling pulling somewhat stayer times. 63. Interesting. yearling. So yeah, you just go to this page here. You can get a quick update on some breeding activity. You can get an update on quite a few things, but it does show you the breeding activity. Spoken alone. Tan lines 105.25. It's a 2-year-old. Good lord. You can see retired horses, horses that were retired from the game, gone from the track. Maybe getting set, maybe set up. Not, I mean, these are probably retired for breeding. Some are retired for the game, but it shows you everything that was retired. Last week's top fee generating mare. Anyway, if you go to racing office and go to racing news, or you go to well, I don't know where I was at actually. Not racing office. It wasn't racing office. I'm sorry. You go to racing news, daily report, horse transfer. I don't know if people know what the horse transfer is, but you can you can sort through there and find out like what horses have changed hands recently. Like Triple Crown Hall, slight updates, has to be update DD Hall of Fame. Anyway, listen. What do you say? What about 5 years old unraced? 5-year-old unraced. What about 5 years old unraced? Well, you're gonna have to find a maiden race for 4-year-olds and up. There ain't no eliminator for that, but you will be able to have races for maidens that are 5-year-old, because I don't even know if they're loaded yet, but I know that they're being loaded if you don't see anything already. But they can always run with the 4-year-old and up. All right, George. So I shouldn't have any problem there with that. Later, John. So yeah. Anyway, that's that podcast. Just on the fly here. Hopefully, it helped out a few people. It was good talking to some of you guys. I appreciate, the few of you have jumped on with questions or whatever it may be. I'll do another one soon, but I figured it was just time to get one out there. So anyway, listen, man, good luck to everybody with the championships and heading into the end of the season. All the new stables, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining, and reach out to us. Reach out if you need any help. There's a ton of other members that'll help out with some horses and training and stuff. It might get a little frustrating for first couple months, learning the basics, but that's normal. It's a fast-paced game, so we're not like other places, that you may know about. We get it in for 4 months, we switch it up, we do it again. And it's a lot of fun. We got big things in store for the new season and the season after. And race. Have a great time, guys. And see you next time. Thanks for watching. Out of here.